Proverbios 10:22. Mire lo que dice. Y la bendición de Jehová es la que hace pobre a todos los hondureños, peruanos, italianos, españoles, enriquece. Si Dios te dio esa casa, si Dios te dio ese negocio y se te está cayendo el pelo, estás estresado, eso no es la bendición de Dios. Si Dios te dio un ministerio, no es para que te estés muriendo con dolores de estómago, con úlcera. Si Dios te da algo, no te empobrece, te enriquece. No he visto a Dios hacer un hombre pobre. Aquel espíritu religioso que está en la televisión, no he visto a Dios hacer un hombre pobre, pero sí he visto a Dios hacer un hombre que prospere en familia, en casa, los hijos, el hogar, el arraso. Toca al que está al lado, dile la bendición. Mira allá, la bendición de Dios enriquece. No, tome diciendo allá, no añade tristeza con ella. ¿Quién puede bendecir? Todos podemos bendecir, pero hay bendiciones que un pueblo necesita que tienen que venir de una autoridad. No es lo mismo la bendición de una mamá que la bendición del papá. ¿La mamá tiene el poder de bendecir? Sí, señor. Pero quien tiene la autoridad para desatar es el papá. Aquí en la iglesia de Cristo, somos los efesios, apóstoles, evangelistas, pastores, maestros, los que tenemos la autoridad mayor para bendecir. Y de todos los 5, el que tiene la mayor autoridad, porque Dios dice primeramente apóstoles, es el apóstol. Yo hoy te voy a bendecir y te va a preparar para todo el año, para que estés protegido, preservado y prosperado. ¿Cuántos de ustedes aquí quieren ser bendecidos por Dios? Yo lo voy a bendecir en este momento. Queridos hermanos, el apóstol Maldonado, su padre espiritual, los quiero bendecir, por favor. ¿Le gustaría a ustedes recibir mi bendición? ¿Hay algunos que dijeron que sí? El espíritu religioso quiere ver al hombre de Dios así. Hermanitos queridos, quiero bendecirlos porque yo tengo una bendición para ustedes. Un momentito. Para usted bendecir, tiene que ser primero bendecido. Con qué vergüenza yo me voy a parar a bendecirlo cuando mi traje está hecho pedazos, cuando tengo hoyos en los zapatos. Con qué vergüenza. Dios te bendijo para que bendiga. Usted no puede ser de bendición hasta que usted bendecido primero. Dios dijo, yo te bendeciré para que bendiga. Dios te liberó para que libere. Dios te prosperó para que prospere. Bendice tu casa, tus hijos, tus discípulos. Bendice al pueblo. ¿Por qué? Porque estás prosperado. Yo no puedo bendecirte cuando yo estoy de esta forma. El espíritu religioso ha cambiado la mente, pero hoy yo derribo esa fortaleza y decirte, el espíritu de Cristo es el espíritu de prosperidad, de bendición, de crecimiento, de multiplicación. Y Dios te trajo acá para que te quites esta ropa. ¿Cuántos quieren mi bendición? ¿Cuántos quieren mi bendición?
So why do I abominate this so-called gospel? I think it is another gospel. And the first reason would be simply to go straight to the Bible and see what Paul says about those who want to be rich. I mean, it's just, he says, this is 1 Timothy 6:6, now there's great gain in godliness with contentment. In other words, without craving for stuff. For we brought nothing into the world, and we cannot take anything out of the world. If we have food and clothing, with these we'll be content. It's just amazing. But those who desire to be rich, now here's the key text, this is verse 9. Those who desire to be rich fall into temptation, into a snare, into many senseless and harmful desires that plunge people into ruin and destruction. For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evils. It is through this craving, that is, this craving to be rich, that some have wandered away from the faith and pierced themselves with many pangs. In other words, the very thing that leads people to suicidal piercings of pangs, namely the desire to be rich, is nurtured and cultivated by the prosperity preachers. They are encouraging that this suicidal behavior happen. That's abominable. Or Jesus said, it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. Why would he say that? It's because riches are such dangerous things. They're not a blessing usually. They're usually a curse. People are cursed with riches. They're destroyed by riches. And here again, a little parenthesis of qualification. I don't mean it's sinful to make a lot of money. I just mean it's sinful to want to keep a lot of money. And it's suicidal to want to keep a lot of money. Bigger barns and bigger cars and bigger houses and bigger portfolios and finer clothes, and everything is growing with your income so that your conscience is getting harder and harder, because if you're a Christian at this point, your conscience is having to say, it's okay, it's okay. This is okay. This is the Calvary Road. This is what it means to deny yourself. This is what it means to follow Jesus. This is what it means to die every day. This is what it means to have my treasure in heaven. And it doesn't. It won't work. So your conscience has to be lacerated in order to keep from killing yourself. And so Jesus says it's hard for a rich man to get into the kingdom of heaven. Paul says those who desire to be rich fall into temptation and pierce themselves with many pangs. And along comes a prosperity preacher who says, yes, the Lord really wants you to be rich. We should pursue riches. Following Jesus is the pathway to riches. Riches are the sign of God's blessing. I would just say those are in mutual contradiction for each other, and therefore this is deadly. Here's another reason I'm really upset about this. These prosperity preachers don't just talk to Americans who are already fairly well off and try to help them, become a little more rich. They get on their jets, their personal jets, and they fly to Africa or the Philippines. And they land and they gather a stadium full of 100,000 desperately poor people and tell them if they'll believe in Jesus, they'll get rich and all their needs will be met and their wives don't have miscarriages anymore, blah, blah, blah. Then they get in their jet with their pockets full and go home. That's wicked. Because the Bible is so filled with teachings that in this life, this is a momentary affliction here. This light momentary affliction is working for us an eternal weight of glory beyond all comparison. What's Paul referring to there? He's referring to a lifetime. Light and momentary corresponds to the weight of eternal glory in heaven. He means when you come to Christ, you come and die, and you can count on it. Through many tribulations, we must enter the kingdom of heaven. Normal Christianity is pain. Sorrowful, yet always rejoicing, is the pattern. Prosperity preachers do not prepare new converts in third world countries to endure the realities of what it will cost them to be a Christian. Here's another reason. There are 1,568 or so, as we talk, people groups in the world out of 13,000 that don't even have missionaries engaging them, and therefore everybody in them is without hope. Most of those 1,500 people groups are in very dangerous places, meaning if you go there, your kids might either get disease and die, or your wife might be captured and raped, or your family might be butchered and killed. Who's going to go? We have to go. Jesus said, make disciples of every people group, not just the easy ones, not just the comfortable ones. Who's going to go? The product of prosperity preachers? I don't think so. The people that are going to go are the people that have been taught that to follow Christ is to suffer, and it's brief. It's only 80 years. And then comes heaven.